Hello all my beautiful sisters from those other misters, welcome back to my channel. Today I am gonna play with a couple of things from Colourpop, but the main thing is the Main Squeeze Palette. So this is Colourpop's, not their newest palette, they've brought out. By the time this video goes up, they've probably brought out like 12 new palettes, but this is one of their recent releases. It is their red palette. Now, if you know me, you will probably know that I am obsessed with red eyeshadows. I have been for many years. I actually think it's one of the most interesting and diverse eyeshadow colors to completely like transform a look. Now, there are a lot of warm tone palettes on the market that could be passed off as a red palette or a red eyeshadow, but when I talk about red eyeshadow, I'm talking about true reds. Now, in this palette there are 9 eyeshadows, a little bit of details. It retails for $12 and it is currently available on the Colourpop website. I'll just make sure it's still in stock. I'm sure it is. Come on, internet, load. It is still in stock at the time of filming this video. So essentially what we have are 5 matte shades. Let's do this. So we've got 3 mattes here, 2 here. We've got some like metallic shades straight down the center, and this one is a satin. Now, I would say in this palette, I have played with it, I would say there are 2 true reds. So it is Like It's Hot and Home Slice. Home Slice is fucking stunning. It is such a beautiful, bright, vibrant, I don't even know the word for it. It's rich. It's so beautiful. I love that shade. Now, I will say with this palette, I experienced a lot of fallout. I also don't think the pigmentation is amazing. I think it's okay. You can definitely work with it to build it up. And Home Slice, I would only ever wear it wet or maybe with a glitter glue or like a really sticky base. But once you get it on and you get it on there, like, you know, a nice opaque coverage over the skin, the color is sensational. So I'm gonna play with this again today. I haven't really thought about what I'm gonna do, but I do want to use Like It's Hot and Home Slice. I think I will also use red bottoms, but first let's swatch it. So first up we have Froze. This is, they're calling it a matte coral red. I would agree with that. This one is Juicy Fruit. It's a metallic coral with a gold flip. I would agree. Then we have Home Slice. This is my fave. It's a metallic strawberry red. Then we have Like It's Hot. This is the true matte red. It's pretty crazy. I will say I don't think these swatch very well, but they apply quite well. You just got to build them up a bit. This one is Maraschino, or Maraschino. It's a metallic red with a gold flip. So you can see in there we do have some gold flecks, and then we have Big Gulp. This is a matte burnt coral red. It swatches like crap. Let's try again. So I wouldn't actually consider that a red at all. It's an orange, and this is probably like an issue with red eyeshadows. If you're trying to make a red more warm by adding yellow to it, it becomes orange. If you're trying to make it lighter by adding white, it becomes pink. And if you are trying to deepen it with purple shades, it becomes more purple than it does red. You can add black to it. That's a really great way to make a deeper red, to blacken it. But there's not much you can add to a red to like change it in its lightness. It's pretty much just red. Like if you add white to yellow, you make a lighter yellow. If you add white to blue, you make a lighter blue. But if you add it to red, you're making pink. So it's kind of hard. And again, like I said, if you add yellow to it to lighten it, you're making it orange. So there's not a whole lot you can do to sort of lighten or warm up a red. A red is just, red is red. So I think with that particular one, especially when you compare it to what's going on here, it becomes an orange. And I do, like, I feel the same with this. Like, coral is not red. Coral is coral. So, you know, reds are hard. Reds are hard. And the last three shades are Seed Money. This is called a matte red brown, which I would agree with. You can see it pulls a lot of brown tones, especially when you like compare it to reds up here. This one is Baywatch. It is, oh sorry, a bit close. It's a metallic red bronze, and then we have Red Bottoms, which is a matte red plum, and you can see she swatches terribly. I think that's a sad thing about this palette. It just swatches badly, so it can come across as not a very nice palette initially, but once you play with it, it's not too bad. She's dry. She's dry. But you can see there, like the matte red plum, which is this one down the bottom, Red Bottoms. Again, it's not really a, it's not a red. I wouldn't actually consider it a red. I think red and plum, they're different. They're not the same shades. If it was a blackened red, you'd be able to tell it's a blackened red, but it's got a lot more purple tones in it. So comparing it to, you know, something up here, it's not red. For me, it's not in the same family. And look, you know, I'm fussy about reds because I love them so much. And I think anyone who has like a real obsession with a particular color that just, you know, makes their brain fuzzy, you can probably understand a little bit where I'm coming from. It's got to be just right. All right, let's get into this. Let's get up nice and close. Let's situate myself with a mirror and let's start. I'm going to take the shade Like It's Hot on a Morphe R37. I'm just going to pop that in the crease. Little bit of skipping on the inner corner here, but we'll see if we can fix that up. I'm using a Crown C528 brush, and Like It's Hot again, I'm just going to work it into that inner corner. And I'm using a Morphe M441 that is completely clean, just to soften up those edges. I'm taking Red Bottoms and using a Zoeva 231 Luxe Petite Crease. And I'm just going to put this in the outer corner in the crease, but not bringing it up as far as I have with the red, and also the inner corner. More skipping in here, so I'm just going to go with Red Bottoms again. I'm using a Zoeva 230 Luxe pencil. I'm going to see if I can fix that up. I do think with the Red Bottoms shade, I said it's, you know, it's more of a plum shade. Like, I don't consider it a red, but I think when you are layering it with one of the truer reds in the palette, you do get more red effect. It's adding more red and taking away from the plummy shade, which helps to make it look more red. So I'm going to go in with Home Slice. I'm going to use a Smith 253 brush, and I'm going to damp my brush. This is the CosRX Cooling Aqua Facial Mist. So So the color aspect is basically done here. I am going to clean up a little bit of this fallout. I'm also going to put on a wing liner, black mascara. I'm certainly going to wear lashes, false lashes with this look. It is intense. It is not for the faint of heart. That Home Slice shade, I don't own anything like that. That is just, oh, it's something special. All right, I'll be back once I've done what I've got to do. All right, here we are with liner, wing liner, lashes, and I also tight lined the upper waterline with a black eyeliner. Okay, the thing about wearing like red eyeshadow, and this also applies to pink eyeshadow, and for some people it will even apply to any warm toned eyeshadow, and this is going to depend on things like your personal, like the color of your skin, the lightness, the depth, also the undertone, the color of your eyes, the color of your hair. But for some people, warm eyeshadows can make them look sick. And red eyeshadow is notorious for doing that. Now, if you break it up with something that contrasts heavily against the red and the rest of your skin, you'll stop looking so sick. Now, that's why I always do black liner, black mascara, black like tight line, and lashes. Lashes really help. They don't have to be huge lashes. These are just little demi lashes, so it's like a half lash, but it just helps to break it up. If you have big eyes or standard size eyes and you can wear a black liner on your waterline and under your eyes without making your eyes look small and beady, I would highly recommend that. Black is always going to look best. It's always going to work. For some people it's too harsh. I understand. I'm one of those people. I can't usually wear black on my lower lash line or my waterline. It's just too much. But if you are one of those people, can't wear black, my next suggestion would be a dark purple. Purple looks beautiful with red. So today, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the Marc Jacobs Fineliner. This is Blaquer, which is a berry shade. Then I'm going to take a little pencil brush. This is a Bdellium Tools 716. And I'm just going to soften that, especially where it's come in contact with the hair along the lower lash line, so it's not sort of bunched up or grabbed around the hair. So you can see I've just got a little bit of purple under there just to help break it up a little bit. I'm gonna go in with a tiny bit of mascara on my lower lashes. I'm using the Essence You Better Work. It's a volume and curl waterproof mascara because I know this one isn't too intense. I was also going to play with the blush and highlight sticks from Colourpop. These are another new addition to their range, but I powdered my base before I remembered to use these. And I'm doing a foundation wear test today. I don't want to go in with a cream product over a set base that is potentially going to screw up a base. So maybe I'll do that in another video. I also have, where is it? I also have this guy, the Blue Moon palette. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'll do a video on it. Blue eyeshadow, it's not really my thing, but look, she's blue. So maybe I will. Blue dabba dee dabba die. To finish it off, I am going to try one of these for the first time. It's the So Juicy Plumping Gloss. I'm just using the clear one. Is it called? No, it's called Princess Cut. So clear like a diamond. Princess Cut is what you do to some diamonds. I do have a red one of these, but I wouldn't, look, even I'm not fucking brave enough to wear a red lip with a red eyeshadow palette. Oh. Minty. Glossy, a bit sticky. Alright, final thoughts on the Colourpop Main Squeeze Palette. Now, I just want to give a little bit of background about why this palette is so important to me. if you don't follow everything that Kat and I do over on Beauty News, which I don't expect you to, there is a little bit of a backstory between this palette and myself. Some of you will know this. Feel free to skip ahead if you don't want to hear it. Basically, Kat and I did a video over on Beauty News where we talked about collaborations that we would like to do with makeup brands, and I said a red palette with Colourpop. And the reason I said that was because, one, I wanted an all red eyeshadow palette. This was the first one that I had seen that was, you know, mainstream, easily available, or easy to access, and affordable. And I felt like, you know, Colourpop would be a good brand to do that with, because they make fairly good quality eyeshadows. Some are not great, but for the most part, I think for their price, they're very good. And also a red eyeshadow palette, like this is not for everyone, right? Even people who aren't afraid to do crazy things with their eyeshadow, they probably look at this and go, I don't need that many red eyeshadows. So if you're gonna do something a bit different, a bit sort of off the beaten track, then you want it to be affordable, for one. So if people do take the plunge and then they discover red eyeshadow looks terrible on me, they're not like, you know, crying a river over spending $40 or $50 on a red eyeshadow palette that they're never going to use. But when you're looking at something like this, it's 12 bucks. It's an easy pill to swallow. Then a few weeks after publishing that video, we actually saw this. We saw it. Colourpop released a red palette, and I was a bit like, look, I was a bit rough. I was a bit rough on them. I was like, that's not what I would create. That's not really a red palette. And I would say that to a degree, it isn't really a red palette, but it also very much is a red palette. So I poo-pooed it a little bit, but I was still going to buy it. And I went on the Colourpop website a few times, because they have like a shipping cap or a free shipping cap to Australia. I was trying to get my cart with, I think it's like $50 US worth of stuff. And I really wanted the red BFF liner. And I pretty much wasn't gonna I wasn't gonna check out without that liner in my cart, and it was sold out at the time. So I was just sort of holding off. I was gonna get it eventually, but then a package arrived for Beauty News from Colourpop, and what do you know, this palette was in there with a bunch of the other like watermelon related things for their birthday release. So I was really excited. I was like, yes, yes, I don't have to buy it. It's here, it's in my hot little hands, I can play with it. So I started to play with it. My first experience with it was arm swatching it for Instagram photos, and I was not impressed. I was like, no, Colourpop, why? The pigmentation was not good. I was doing lots of multi-swatches, and I also noticed like a lot of the colors, not red. So I was a bit like, I wasn't loving it. Then I sat down to use it, and that's when I went, oh God, they do know what they're doing. And they do. Colourpop do know what they're doing. The colors that are not red are, it's like their red vibrancy or their red tones are improved by other red eyeshadows in the palette. So you're still left with a red look regardless of what you're using. It's like the reds bring out the reds. The formula, when you are actually using it with a brush to apply it to your eye, is worlds apart. It's not patchy, it's not, you know, low pigmentation. It actually goes on quite well. You guys saw I did have some skipping. That's an issue. I don't think it's a deal breaker for me. You have to decide how you feel about that yourself. There is a little bit of build-up that needs to be done to get the kind of vibrancy that I want. Maybe you are not as crazy as I am, and you don't need your red eyeshadow to look like this. I don't know, but that's how I like my red eyeshadow to look. vibrant and crazy. And I can get that, I just have to build it up. But you can also get a bit of a softer look if you want that. I love this palette. I love this palette and I think it's so good, and I would still create a red palette with Colourpop. Mine would be different, but this one has filled a little hole in my heart where a red eyeshadow palette was missing. Alright guys, so I'm gonna wrap it up. If you have tried the Main Squeeze palette from Colourpop, leave your comments down below. Let us know what you think. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Tell me your feels. I won't judge you if you hate it. It's okay. I know Colourpop formula and red eyeshadow, not for everyone. It's alright. No judgment here. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and I will see you in the next one. Bye.